This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Hello, good morning to you. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Evan Thomason. Let me stop that echo. Let me get myself all together. Hello, welcome. Happy Monday. It's back, brand new work week of First Alert Weather Breakdown. It's back to our regularly scheduled week of First Alert Weather Breakdown as well. Again, I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. Welcome those of you watching on Facebook as well. We decided to do that because this is a very busy week in the weather world for two main reasons, although I will say the second one and the thing that's happening later this week is probably a bigger story than the story that's happened today, but we're going to go over both weather headlines here in just a moment. But yes, hopefully I guess going first into the first headline of things, if you walked outside this morning, you definitely noticed it. And even if you were out late last night, you certainly felt it coming. Arctic cold temperatures around the ArkLaTex in our region. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that first and just how cold we got and where we're headed along with this big cold pattern ahead of us. Because, this Arctic cold weather is not going anywhere. It is not going anywhere anytime soon. And because it's not going anywhere anytime soon, that's going to lead us to our second main headline, which is our next weather maker, or our next wet precipitation maker, so to speak, coming on through later this week. And because it comes through when it collides also with these very cold temperatures, thus gives us the chance and opens the window for a chance. A chance. I want to stress that word out, chance. That doesn't mean for sure. That also doesn't mean it isn't going to happen at all. For snow, freezing rain, sleet, a mix of everything in between with snow, everything between snow and rain, essentially. We're going to get into all that coming up on this First Alert Weather Breakdown. Topics for today are all about the bitter cold forecast. We're going to go into that first since it's already ongoing. That is definitely a headline, again, enough as it is. But our main exclusive content is answering the big $1 million question for a good amount of people is, will we see wintry precip? Where will we see it? How are we going to see it? What's the timing of everything working out? What are my exact chances of seeing snow? What are my exact chances of seeing ice potentially on the roadways? We're going to get into all that in our exclusive content coming up. That's going to happen after a commercial break, after we go over the cold temperatures first. I'm going to kind of go over one point at a time, and we'll save probably the more intriguing and the biggest headline for last and second. Before I get into the main forecast about our current temperatures around the ArkLaTex, I do want to stress, again, we are streaming on Facebook. Thank you for those of you watching on Facebook for KSLA News 12. We're on YouTube as well. You can write down your comments there. But the point of also being on Facebook is to also allow you guys to write in comments, questions, those kind of things, and I can answer them live on this live stream. For example, Lewis, you're in Texarkana. If we do get winter weather, hopefully it won't cause a power outage. I hope so. We'll see. Because unfortunately, with the winter weather and the wintry precip on the way, our chief meteorologist, Matt Jones, has already expressed to me about potentially creating a first alert weather day on the days of Thursday and Friday. That's where we're looking to target that wintry precip coming through. It's mainly going to look to come through on Thursday, but there is also a little chance of some of that extending into Friday, specifically in the morning hours too. So we're going to get into all the details about that later, but yes, that is on a watch for a first alert weather day. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. So it hasn't been declared as a first alert weather day yet for Thursday and Friday because of the wintry precip, but Matt Jones, our chief meteorologist here, has expressed possibly doing that and changing over that day into a first alert weather day, obviously with any chance of precip other than rain. It is definitely cause for concern around here. All right, so yes, anyways, the point is that is what we're working with here in on the First Alert Weather Breakdown. So we're going over Toy says, come back 70 degrees. It's January. This was bound to come and happen. And anyways, we were in the 60s back at Christmas time. We enjoyed our little little tiny summer break, so to speak. No, we're not really summer, but late fall break, so to speak. So yes, Alexandria, we need a 3-day work week. Make it happen. Hey, with what's happening on Thursday and Friday, yes. And then Colby and Lacey say thanks for keeping us informed. Checking in from Bienville Parish. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And that's the end of the Facebook comments for now. I'm going to get to the Facebook comments now after both of the forecasts. So again, if you have a question, feel free to write it down. I'll get to it later. But let's go into the forecast. Enough dilly-dallying. I'll make my graphics up and ready to roll. So first of all, again, the main headline for today alone, is the temperatures and how cold it is. Now, this would already be impressive if these were temperatures, low temperatures in the morning, meaning bitter cold temperatures you'd find at 7 in the morning. It is currently 10:30 a.m. We've already had about 3 hours for the atmosphere to warm up under completely sunny skies. In the ArkLaTex, it's 30 right now in Shreveport, 31 in Texarkana, 28 in DeQueen. Now, this does not include the wind. And what does include the wind is our feels-like temperatures, which are still down to 20 degrees in Shreveport, 16 in Mount Pleasant, 19 in Idabel, 20 in Texarkana. These temperatures were as low as 11 degrees in Shreveport. I found single digits this morning in Mount Pleasant and Idabel, for those of you waking up about 3 to 4 hours ago and just dipping your toes out in the cold, frigid air of the ArkLaTex earlier on today. Those are some of the temperatures you were faced with. And those temperatures overall continue as well for the most part, too. So we're facing lots of sunshine around here, but, it is helping on our temperature technically. It's warming us up from where we were this morning. But, yes, it's a little deceiving. That's my point. All right, so, again, our main weather headlines, just go over them one more time, is we have very cold temperatures back in the ArkLaTex here for today. This is definitely the coldest morning we have had by far this season. And to be fair, it is looking to be the coldest morning out of the next several days, but not by much. Let me stress that. We'll get into that in just a little bit. The main reason for why today in particular was the coldest is because of the winds. The winds behind the cold front and the storms that we experienced yesterday with our first alert weather day on Sunday have helped to usher in and quickly push and really pack a punch of that cold Arctic air very quickly rolling into the ArkLaTex. So that's providing a good amount of wind chill, especially with winds still sustained between 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day today, which has allowed our wind chills to stay at 20 degrees even now, again, 3 hours past sunrise. So that's where we're sitting, and that's why today in particular is the coldest, because starting tomorrow, it's not going to be nearly as windy, which is good news. And it looks like for most, I wouldn't say for the most of the rest of the week, but at least for Tuesday and Wednesday, winds are looking to ease up a little bit per se. So we'll still have that cold Arctic air in here, but it won't be as bad of winds adding on top of that cold temperature, so to speak. All right, so on top of that, again, the big headline moving on forward, which we'll talk about after one commercial break, is going to be the wintry precip. We're going to go into all that later on. But we're talking about the temperatures just for now in this forecast. Again, we're going to talk about the temperatures, we're going to go over the 7-day forecast, and then we're going to go to break, and then I'm going to talk all about the snow and the freezing rain and when we can expect it and where we can expect it, and you get the point. Hold off on that until after this. Let's get to, again, what we're dealing with now currently, because we have a jet stream that is now coming in from the north, pushing in, and again, ushering in that cold polar vortex type air. And the main point of showing you this graphic is this is going to go over the next several days, and you'll see the jet stream change like its shape overall. But what doesn't change over the next 5 days, even through Friday, is look where our wind originates from. Even though at the surface it looks like, yes, our wind is coming from the south and west on Friday, it originates from still the cold Pacific Northwest from the Rockies continuously over the next week that maintains our temperatures very cold. And that's going to allow also our next precipitation maker to potentially give us something more than rain, which, again, we'll go over in just a little bit. But feels like temperatures, again, this past morning were in the teens. This afternoon, again, feels like temperatures right now are settling pretty much right around 20 degrees. This afternoon, they could get into the lower 30s, and that's it. That is it. High temperatures actually, pretty much range up to around 40 degrees. But again, that doesn't incorporate the wind. So very, very cold today. I think today, again, is one of the first days where I've had to say bundle up, not just for the morning, but throughout the day. This is definitely a day where you need to stay bundled up throughout the entirety of the next several days, honestly. Tomorrow morning, this is what I'm saying, the wind pretty much turns off once we get into tomorrow morning, and the wind chills and the feels like temperatures aren't nearly as bad for tomorrow morning. Now, I know that's not saying much because, again, we had wind chills down to the teens this morning, and they're only getting into the 20s for tomorrow morning, which is, yes, still bitter cold, but it's somewhat of an increase in the temperature is what I'm trying to say. But then, again, highs only stretching, for the feels like highs, only stretching into the mid to upper 30s again here for Tuesday afternoon before getting right back down into the 20s. So highs today, again, settling right around the lower 40s. And here's a peek of that 7-day forecast. Overall, high today, 41. Look at the high on Friday. It's at 39, with low temperatures still maintained below freezing, pretty much in the mid to upper 20s for the most part, all the way throughout the rest of the work week. Once we get into next weekend, that's when temperatures finally start to rise into Saturday and Sunday, high of 52 degrees on Sunday, with a tiny warm-up in those morning temperatures as well. Now, obviously, all this happens after Thursday and Friday. Coming up next, after one quick break, I'm just going to take a drink of water before I get out what I need to say about all of the chances of snow, freezing rain, sleet, rain, all in between, a mix of everything. We're going to talk about all the details you need to know on that, and that system coming through again on Thursday and Friday, coming up after just one really quick break. I'll be up again after 2 minutes. Hello and welcome back to First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Evan Thompson. Again, I'll be going over everything you need to know about the snow, freezing rain, sleet, rain, everything in between coming up on Thursday and Friday. Going over the details right now. But before I get into the thick and the meat and potatoes of this and get into the discussion of everything, Again, I want to stress out we are streaming on Facebook in particular today, and I think, quite frankly, over the next several days, because this is a big weather week between the big temperature drop and especially with a potential first alert weather day on the horizon because of all this wintry precip potentially coming into the ArkLaTex. So we're going to keep you first alert weather aware. We're going to have different segments, I will say as well, over the next several days, besides just talking exclusively about the snow. But we're going to make sure we talk about it every single day on this podcast in depth. And so if you have any questions, you can easily, or comments, you can easily write them down on Facebook, and I will get to them after this forecast, because I might answer some of your questions. We'll see. Anyways, all right. So I think the best way to go about doing this is, first of all, I do have 3 graphics. I have a future track to show you kind of how things pan out. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up now. There we go. I'm going to show you how the system comes on through. I'm going to talk also, one of the best ways to kind of imagine this is to look at the what, the where, the when, the how, and the why exactly. I know that's a lot of questions, but there's a lot that goes into how this exactly plays out. And as a result of so many questions, so to speak, even there's still a few unknowns. Okay, we'll show you what we do know, and obviously weather is not a perfect science, or else I wouldn't be here in the first place. But anyways, we'll give you the most details we know, and we'll continue to stay first alert as the system continues to get closer and closer into the future. And all this starts on the future track. We'll show you exactly where this starts right now. So for the rest of today, and overall the next 3 days, at least for today, it's looking like pleasant sunshine throughout the day. For Tuesday and Wednesday, you might find a little more cloud cover looming through the skies, but overall, nothing is giving us trouble, at least all the way, again, through, Wednesday. So, by the end of Wednesday, we start to see a little something on the horizon already, or we could find a few chances of snow already if you're going into Dallas or out towards Tyler late on Wednesday night. Then we progress into the early morning hours of Thursday. And you can already see Wednesday late night heading into Thursday. Now keep in mind, this is still 2.5 days out. So the future track and exact timing of how this plays out, like trusting the specific hour that 12:30 a.m. will have mixed precip in Natchitoches, might not be accurate. It might happen more towards like 1, 2 a.m. or happen before that. But this is just a suggestion of what kind of precip we can expect here. Sorry, let me backtrack. I got a little ahead of myself there. But we could have a brief little line of mixed bag of precipitation. That is what's in that pink there. And when it mainly shows pink is not just a mix of rain and snow. When we see a shade of pink on the future track, that more indicates the greater chance of freezing rain and sleet, which honestly to me is more troublesome than snow. Snow can just stick to the road, and if it gets warm enough, then it melts, period. The problem is if you get freezing rain, it's rain that'll just immediately freeze onto the surface, and that's what causes, unfortunately, a good amount of accidents around here, because that is a huge and tremendous loss of friction. So I'd say especially watch out for this huge shade of pink that shows up first thing Thursday morning. Especially looks like around the central part of the ArkLaTex, where we'll have greater chances of snow. This is the end of the future track, by the way. This is as far out as it goes. Looks like we'll have a few more chances to catch on to snow showers in the northern half of the region, in particular by southwestern Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, and northeastern Texas. Meanwhile, we're looking at more of a mix of things and more greater chances of freezing rain for those along the I-20 corridor, while you might just get rain, honestly, for areas of Nacogdoches, Hemp Hill, and Natchitoches. So let's get into a little more of the details, shall we? All right, so again, this will come between Thursday morning, which is where that future track pretty much ended. This could carry on throughout the day Thursday. So when we talk about snow showers starting Thursday morning and starting in Texarkana, mind you that, as we heat up during the day on Thursday afternoon, some of that snow per se in Texarkana and some of that mixed precipitation and freezing rain and sleet in the I-20 corridor could change over to rain in the afternoon. Then, as the system still looks like it's going to progress until Friday morning, then as we start to cool down again, we could go back to the same precipitation types that we just saw on that future track. I hope that makes sense. So, for example, if I take an area like Shreveport, again, you saw that, and you can kind of see it on here a little bit. We see that mixed precip of freezing rain and sleet. That real gross to me, yes. Gross stuff in between rain and snow. That could happen Thursday morning. We could transfer over to rain in the afternoon, but then as we cool back down on Friday morning, that's when we cool back down, and we could get more chances of freezing rain and sleet then. So I hope that makes sense. But my point is the types of precipitation can fluctuate as the temperatures go up and down throughout the day in one single location. So don't just expect one type of precipitation for one area at all, okay? Most of this is just suggesting the possibility of snow, of freezing rain coming in, especially since we've seen this on multiple weather models, kind of emphasizing that, okay, we're gaining our confidence that this type of event is going to happen. One of the things I want you to watch out for is the threat for icy road conditions. Again, all this happens, why does this happen and how does this happen? All because of those cold temperatures that I was talking about before mentioning the snow. The cold temperatures, the highs for Thursday and Friday are in the upper 30s, and our temperatures get down to the 20s for the night. That's why, again, we have that fluctuation in temperatures. Upper 30s are still below freezing, allows us to get really cold rain, but then we get below freezing, and obviously, you get the point. We go below the bar of rain and turn it into, again, freezing rain and snow. So, yes, the timing's a little more certain, I will say that, with Thursday morning, between Thursday morning and Friday morning, but the totals, we're going to get to that right now. This is the last graphic I have on the snow, and then I'm going to go over questions on Facebook if you have some. A couple of questions. I would not take this last graphic with a grain of salt. Don't be like, okay, I'm in Shreveport, I'm expecting seriously an 1/8 of an inch of snow. I wouldn't say pay much attention to the snow totals. Overall, this is suggesting a number of things. Number one, the greater chances of snow, and I think this is a little self-explanatory, but the greater chances of snow exist for those in northeast Texas, southwest Arkansas, and especially southeastern Oklahoma and McCurtain County. While most of us along the I-20 corridor are looking at a slim chance, and if you're down in Natchitoches or Nacogdoches even, well, you might just hope for a flurry or two, if that. I think most of those areas are unfortunately just going to look into rain showers, or fortunately. Depends on who you ask. Again, also, one thing to mention, this is going to be mixed with rain. This is just the snowfall accumulation, okay? This is not what we're expecting from the entirety of this event moving on through. We do have lots of rain showers, and it's going to probably happen during Thursday afternoon, as I aforementioned, along the I-20 corridor. So we have that going for us as well. All right. Think I went over everything. I'm going to go over everything real quick in my head. The when, again, Thursday morning through Friday morning. The why, cold temperatures still remaining in place throughout the rest of this week with highs around 40 degrees only and lows getting down to the 20s. Because morning low temperatures get below freezing, that's why we open up the door to events like this, where we have a chance of snow coming on in. The where, again, greater chances of snow on the northern half of the ArkLaTex. I think got that. When, I think I answered everything that I think I wanted to get out to you guys. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go over to Facebook. Let me see what questions we got here, just to go over everything. But that's pretty much the end of my presentation for that. I'm gonna go over some of the questions now. Natchitoches. I mean, everybody's getting pretty cold, but again, if I can lower my head, see Natchitoches right there does not have really. It probably has the least chance of catching snow out of anybody in the ArkLaTex. I think it's just going to be a steady cold rain for you guys around there. Elizabeth says no to the cold weather. Well, again, as I mentioned earlier, we're kind of lucky that Christmas ended up being warm. Just saying. This is bound to happen sooner rather than later. Tarinta, I hope I'm saying your name right. Sarinthia? Almost took me out. Yeah. It was a big chill on the way out the door, especially with the wind. And then lastly, Jen says, how about the power? Will the ice be enough to make it go out in the Bossier area? That's an intriguing question. Potentially. I think more of those kind of events deal with how strong the winds are going to be, which actually I'm going to admit I haven't looked into how strong of a wind event this is going to be for Thursday and Friday, how strong wind gusts are going to push on through with these storms. I will say, especially if you have those consecutive bands, especially happening throughout the day on Thursday, which could very well be possible if it accumulates enough, then power outages could be very, very well be possible. I'm going to put that out there right now. Again, a major factor of that is not just the ice, but also the wind, too. Although I know the ice, one of the big factors of the ice is hurting trees and causing trees to topple over, which thus causes power lines to go out like that. So in that way, we could have some issues with that. Yes, definitely coming on through, even for the Bossier area too. So yes. All right, I think I answered everybody's question on Facebook. Again, feel free to leave a question real quick. I'll be on for at least another minute or two. I don't see anything on YouTube. Yeah, so again, we're going to be, just to wrap this up real quick, if you have any last-minute questions, you can ask them still in the next 2 to 3 minutes on KSLA News 12, our Facebook. We're on live right now. I'm going to go back to my face real quick. We're going to be talking about the snow throughout the week. We're probably going to be live streaming on Facebook also every single day. So we'll probably get better details, more exact timing of details of how everything works out. I think we'll also get a better idea of what exactly our precip will look like in certain areas too compared to others. We got a general idea from the tail end of that future track today. Tomorrow, when our weather models go out a day beyond that into, say, Friday morning, encompassing the entire event, so to speak, then I think you get a better picture of things. Just saying. So, yeah, that's how that's going to work. Again, we're going to go over this every single day on the First Alert Weather Breakdown, in addition to other exclusive content things happening day in and day out. I will say on Thursday, we are exclusively going to be talking about this. Before tomorrow, I'm actually not going to say it. I'm going to go take a quick 2-minute break. And when I come back, I'm going to answer any last-minute questions we have on Facebook and YouTube. And I'll preview tomorrow's episode. Stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. First alert weather breakdown. It's our last little segment. Again, we're going to go over any last-minute comments on our Facebook and YouTube feed, and also get you looking forward to tomorrow's episode at 10:30. All right. So, real quick, we're going to mention this throughout the week, but just a quick handy tip, so to speak, with winter weather is, especially with that shade of pink, again, I'm more worried about the ice than the snow, because it sticks. It sticks to the roadways. The snow does too, but then if it gets warm enough, it just melts. Which, to be fair, the same thing happens to ice, but the fact that ice is actively falling, ice is so much worse to me driving on the snow. Snow, you can at least have a little bit of traction on, compared to ice, which severely limits how much traction you do have out on the roadways. So overall, just a helpful tip, especially on Thursday, limit your time on the roadways. And if you have to be out there, this is more than just telling yourself that you're going to drive slowly through the rain. This is driving a good miles per hour under the speed limit, more than just a standard rain event. You can trust me. Take it for someone who has made a mistake. I will admit, made a mistake during winter driving and paid dearly the price for it. That's all I need to say about that. Anyways, just limit your time outside as well. Obviously, especially in the early morning hours, it is very cold out. I don't need to say that. You've probably been outside already, outdoors today. The point I mentioned in my forecast is that this continues as much as it starts to get a little warmer, especially in the mornings over the next couple of days. It doesn't get warmer by that much. It is still going to be very chilly all the way at least through Friday. The rest of the week, work week. So that'll be that. I just wanted to give you two little pointers that I had for that. So let's see. I'm looking right now back to Facebook. Actually, let me go. Okay, YouTube still doesn't have anything. All right, I'm back on Facebook. Cricket. Bratton. I have a nonprofit event on Friday evening. Do you think it is too early to plan a reschedule for it? That is an intriguing question. Now, I will say most of the weather models I've seen end, it's infinito, you get the point. They pretty much end all of the precipitation coverage, period, all by pretty much midday Friday. So I would say it's optimal to actually still be fine for Friday evening. Because, again, this is a weather event that most likely occurs starting Thursday morning. Even, as you saw in the weather model, there might be even a stray shower Wednesday late night into Thursday early morning. But this mainly is going to be focused between Thursday morning and Friday morning. And most of the precipitation should be done by Friday afternoon. And I think when most of the precipitation ends Friday afternoon, since we get that high temperature, at least above freezing, there shouldn't be any leftover freezing roads, I don't think, out there. So I think for Friday evening, I think you're still in the clear. Thursday evening, that's the big concern right there. Friday evening, I think you're 12 hours, at least 6 to 12 hours, good to go in the clear, so to speak. Michael, I've seen on, I believe that's Texarkana today, that there's a chance of 10 inches of winter weather in Texarkana. Have you seen any weather models predicting this? No, so in the model that I showed you guys, it showed Texarkana getting about 2 inches of snow. 10? That's a little way out there. I've seen some with as many as 4 for Texarkana or 5. I think I remember even seeing one with 6. 10, I don't think that high. But regardless, I mean, 6 is still pretty high. Especially with one snowstorm coming through the ArkLaTex, all right? Especially if most of it is going to be snow, which some of it could be mostly snow only in, again, southeastern Oklahoma, McCurtain County, and southwestern Arkansas. So, just saying. 10 inches, no. But 4 to 6, yes. Realistically, probably 2 or 3. Low end of things, probably maybe a half inch. Again, there's a whole lot of fluctuation of how far the snow line dips south. That future track that I showed you was just an example. Just one example of many weather models, either showing the snow line completely missing the ArkLaTex or only clipping McCurtain County, or going as far south as the I-20 corridor. All right, so I hope that answer your question, Michael. Carolyn, do you think driving conditions will be bad early Thursday afternoon from DeKalb to New Boston? Simple answer, yes. Yes. Again, we'll get a better idea of the future track once the future track goes until Friday morning tomorrow. We'll go over that for tomorrow's episode. But in general, yes. You want to stay first alert weather with us on Thursday, especially because we'll probably, and this according to Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones, we'll probably make Thursday and Friday first alert weather day for all the wintry precip coming on through. All right. Next up, Vicky. I'm just going in order real quick. How soon will you guys lay if we get any or nothing at all from the storm? How soon will you guys lay? How soon? Oh, will I know if we get any? We're definitely gonna get something at the end of the day. Again, just the question mark is the precipitation type. Which, again, because weather models are suggesting that we are getting at least a chance of snow. That's why we're staying especially keen on having our eyeball on this, so to speak. So, yes. Alrighty. So, next up. Oh, will we know? Okay, alright. Okay, next up, Ashley. Sorry, head's racing a little bit. Ashley, what about Houghton? Houghton. Again, most of us on the I-20 corridor are looking at freezing rain chances, which is not snow, but it's not just rain. I think just rain, for those who are only getting just rain, I think it's going to be mainly only Natchitoches, and most of those south of I-20 and right along I-49 in Louisiana. If you're in Houghton, I think we're at least getting freezing rain, if not sleet. Again, which is, as I keep saying, it's the worst band to be in. I would rather have snow than freezing rain. And that's what we need to watch out for. We have a doctor appointment Friday morning in Shreveport. Would you recommend travel or no? No, because unfortunately, one of the things I mentioned earlier was the timing of everything. When this first starts on Thursday morning, this is going to start out with because it's our coldest part of the day, it starts out with the snow potential up towards McCurtain County in southeastern Oklahoma, the mixed precip pretty much right in the central part of the ArkLaTex, and then the rain south of the I-20 corridor in the south part of the ArkLaTex, it looks like. So for Shreveport, you'd be getting wintry weather on for Thursday morning. Now it warms up into the afternoon, and that's when we'll probably see that rain coverage extend farther northward, north of I-20, especially when we get our highs into the upper 30s above freezing. Then we're just worried about rain. But then we turn colder, and remember, with the timing of everything, we mentioned how this rain and this precipitation overall is going to stick and hang around all the way through Friday morning, including Friday morning. So as we cool back down into Friday morning, that opens the door to invite the chances of freezing weather. It is freezing weather, but freezing rain and sleet open the door and the possibility for that to come back in to the ArkLaTex. So again, the whatever precipitation you get also depends on the time of day it is. That's what I'm trying to get at. So I kind of answered your question through that. So would I recommend travel at this time for a doctor's appointment? No, unless you know that you can give yourself plenty of time, but at this time, no. I would honestly not recommend it either Thursday morning or Friday morning. That's the two most concerning mornings we're watching out for with this precipitation and weather. We're going to stay first alert about that again throughout this work week, and especially on our Thursday morning and Friday morning shows, which I'll be on. We'll have all the first alert coverage on that live. Michael, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's why we're here. Joyce, Natchitoches, and Ashley says me too, and I think that's the end of our Facebook comments. All right, so Natchitoches, I think you guys are the only place around the ArkLaTex that is just dealing with a rainy day. A rainy day between Thursday morning and Friday morning. Granted, it's still going to be very cold. But the thing about Natchitoches is our temperatures don't get enough below, don't really, what's the word? Don't really get below freezing all that much to be able to sustain a different precipitation type. In fact, as I said, Natchitoches is pretty much the only area that I'm not expecting a single chance of any type of wintry precip between freezing rain, snow, and any of that. Natchitoches is overall the area of my least concern. You guys, I'm always concerned about you, but I think you get the point. It's just looking like a common rainy day for you guys, which you're probably in the best spot of the ArkLaTex out of anybody for this system rolling on through. Hope that makes sense. All right. Brad, I think this is the last one we'll do. Cover Texarkana again. We'll do. Texarkana. Since you're on the northern half of the ArkLaTex, you will have a greater chance of getting snow. In fact, I'll go ahead and pop this up one last time, and then I'm going to head out after this. Now, don't pay attention to the values of this, Brad. Don't do that. What I want you to pay attention to is that this map is just showing you that we have greater snow chances for those in the northern half of the ArkLaTex compared to the southern half. All right? We're expecting more sustained snowfall totals in the northern half. And even though you do see a little chance of snow along the I-20 corridor and for those just south of there, that's going to be mixed in with a lot of rain. A lot of rain still for areas like Shreveport, Mansfield, Mendon, Ruston. But if you're up towards Texarkana and southwestern Arkansas, you could see more sustained snow that could actually stick to the ground for a substantial amount of time. And then it could briefly mix in with rain Thursday afternoon. But between Thursday morning and Friday morning, honestly, at this time, I'm looking at you guys mostly getting snow, which leads up to that snowfall accumulation, which I wouldn't trust that number entirely because different weather models have been all over the place with how much snow we exactly get. But it just shows you the potential, especially with this weather model in particular, 2 inches of snow. You get enough to stick briefly. Maybe a brief little rain shower again for Thursday afternoon with it warming up. But then you cool back down on Friday morning and get another little quick shot of snow back in. So that's what you're watching out for there. John, I'll go over this really quickly. Manny, as you see on this map, Manny along with Natchitoches, not really getting much of a chance of any wintry precipitation. Again, we're staying first alert. As much as we're concerned about any area in the ArkLaTex, most of this severe wintry weather threat of different types of precipitation, most of this concerns those along the I-20 corridor and northward, pretty much, for the most part. It could affect briefly areas of Nacogdoches Center, Mansfield, Coshada. Could have a brief shot maybe of a mix. And again, that frozen rain potentially. But overall, I'm not expecting too much of an issue for areas like Manny and Natchitoches. All right, I hope that answers your question. I think, yeah, we're going to be done here. Coming on soon. I got to head on out. But thanks for watching First Alert Weather Breakdown. Tomorrow's episode will be with CJ. Meteorologist CJ Cartledge will be, sorry, I'm too excited about him coming on. Meteorologist CJ Cartledge will be on with us here tomorrow. He's going to go over his latest weather TikTok on our weather podcast here for tomorrow. But keep in mind, we will be probably streaming this again on Facebook throughout the week as well. And me and CJ are going to go all into details still about everything you need to know about the snow potential, freezing rain potential, sleet potential, rain potential, when it happens, where it happens, how it's happening. You get the point. We're going to go over every details and give you more in-depth details, especially as we get closer to this event coming up later down the road. So basically, CJ is going to be with me on tomorrow's episode. We're going to watch his TikTok, yes, but we're also going to stay, again, first alert, all about that wintry precip. All right, that's it for today. Yeah, if you have anything you want to add, any topics you want us to add, we talk about other things as well. Again, our topic for today was just about the snow. Topic for tomorrow was talking about CJ's weather TikTok. You can message us on Facebook if you have any ideas you want us to add. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. That is my professional name on Facebook. Overall, we stream every single weekday at 10:30. If you missed the episode or can't make it, guess what? You can just go to KSLA News 12 app, or you can go to the website, click on it, and then go down the page to First Alert Weather Breakdown, click on that, and voila, all the episodes will be there for you laid out in recordings. Pretty cool. Anyways, I'm going to skedaddle. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. Stay warm. Again, the cold is here already. Stay warm. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30. You stay there. What am I saying? Tomorrow, Tuesday, 10:30. Be there. Be square. And most importantly, especially this week, be weather aware. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Monday.